What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing a complete beginner's guide for boxing. This is something that I wish I had when I started boxing, because there's a lot of bad stuff you can buy. There's a lot of bad things you can do as far as dieting, training, boxing, weightlifting, and everything. So we're going to go through damn near all of it. But before the video starts, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're back posting weekly. I know we took a little bit of a break. Y'all know why in a little bit. But until that, we're back. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. We'll get into it. All right, the first thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about is your technique. When you first come into a gym, the last thing you want to do is come in here thinking you know everything, one, or B, just come in and not practice the right things. You can go back on my channel and watch a few videos just about proper technique, but we're gonna kind of revisit those right now. With your jab, let's say I'm doing it on the heavy bag. You can shadow box it, you can do it on the heavy bag. I prefer shadow boxing. It builds your muscle memory in my opinion, but you can definitely hit the bag. With your jab, when you throw a jab, you will be stepping on your jab. A bunch of coaches have a bunch of different teachings. I like to step on my jab. I think getting the back foot under you is important on the jab, so that's what I teach. Off the jab, what you're gonna do is you're gonna push off that back foot. I'm gonna step with my lead foot. Now, when I step with that lead foot, at that same time, that's when I'm gonna make contact with the bag. So I'm gonna push off, step. The second part of any punch, I don't care if it's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, squeeze. Turn it over and squeeze. If you don't turn it over and squeeze, there's not gonna be any power, there's not gonna be any sting on the punch. So, once again, I'm pushing off that back foot, squeeze, bring it back. Pop. You can move around with the jab. You can go forward and back with the jab. But that's essentially the basis premise of a good jab. Outside the jab, your first 1 to 2 weeks in the boxing gym, you should really be focused on your jab and your stance. You always hear the saying, a good jab can take you around the world. That's damn true. If you have a good jab, it's going to help you out a lot. But you also got to know what stance to be in. A lot of times I see people come in here or try to go here. No, you're not Floyd Mayweather. You're not good enough to do that yet. Stop. That's the easy way to get knocked out. If I'm here, right hand, especially if you don't know what you're doing. In my gym, I've always thought that just basic traditional boxing stance. So one thing I want you to think about is you always want to be sided up. Good rule of thumb, if I can see the color of my shoulder, if I can see, cool, I got a camo shirt on right now. If I can see that out of my peripherals, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be sided up. Second thing, you want to have your hands up. Some people come here, I like keeping the palms in. Kind of about what we were talking about earlier. If you see somebody with a cut on their face in boxing, that's not from blunt trauma to the glove. No. They're snapping that punch, they're twisting the glove. By keeping that palm in, it's easier to turn that shot over, it's easier to cut the skin, it's easy to inflict damage. Second part of that, with the palm in, now my forearm's gonna be in the way and I'm automatically protecting my body shots. If I have more of an open stance, the jab to the body, the two to the body is gonna be there, versus if I'm sided up, I'm not getting hit. I'm not getting hit. Next thing, always keep your chin down. The worst place to ever get hit when you're boxing is to have the chin up. Put your chin down. Do not get hit in the chin. Best place to get hit is your forehead. It's the thickest part of the skull. You really want to protect that soft tissue though, so I'm gonna put my chin down. The way I like to kind of teach this is by finding a spot on the bag, or just honestly telling people to look at someone's chest. So if they got like a Nike logo on their chest, an Adidas logo, I'm keeping my eyes on the chest. So I'm automatically gonna keep my chin down. And then with that, you gotta have good feet as well. So one thing I really like that it was described to me on Instagram, I saw this like a couple days ago, is heel to toe. So if this foot's at about 3 o'clock, boom, it's straight out to the side. This is gonna be your base. 9 times out of 10 when I'm boxing, I want about 60% of my weight on my back foot. That's gonna, one, buy you some time, but also allow you to see a little bit more in your punches. I know some gyms will do 50-50, but you never really want to be 60-40, leaning into a punch. That's the easy way to get touched. I'm going to keep 60% of my weight on my back foot. I'm going to bring my ball of the foot to my heel, and I'm just going to step forward. That's heel to toe right there. I got my base. This is going to be a little bit more directional. This is kind of how I move, all that good stuff. The more you box, you'll notice you have a stronger left arm, and you actually have a stronger back leg. That's from throwing so many jabs and just keeping your weight on your back foot. So, weights on my back foot, knees are bent. From here, I got a little bit more rotation. One thing I hate is when people stack their feet together. One, you're just not as balanced. You're not going to be balanced. If I try to throw it too as well, my thighs are going to clash. I'm not going to be able to get the torque on the punch that I need to. Whereas if I keep that foot offline, I have more of a base. So if somebody was to hit me or move me or whatever, I'm not going to fall over. On top of that, when I do throw my two, it's going to be a lot easier to rotate. So when you first come into the boxing gym, make sure you're practicing the right things. That jab alone and that footwork alone, you can do so much with that. Honestly, to take up about the time on your first week, your second week. And then talk to your coach, start building things in, mixing in the 2, mixing in the 3. But if you have good straights, such as the 1 and the 2, you'll be fine. As well as good footwork, it'll really help you out your first 4 or 5 fights. Next up, let's talk about weight work. I know a lot of you guys like to do weight work. I know a lot of you guys probably do that already. But let's just go over some things as far as a boxer that you would want to do for weight work. Now, I know y'all like to comment on my TikTok and Instagram saying I have baby shoulders. Yes, I do. So why listen to me? Well, that's because I tell everybody to do what I don't do, and I'm working on it because I'm trying to gain a little bit of muscle. So yeah. But weight work is very important for boxing, and you can do it the wrong way. So I kind of want to show you guys some of the right things to be doing, or at least to start out with on boxing, because some people just have zero idea about anything they should do. One of my favorite things that I have people do when they first start unboxing is download the app StrongLift. StrongLift, no, I don't work with them. I don't even know who created the app. But it's a great app and it helped me when I first started lifting weights. So once you download the app, they're going to give you about 5 different exercises. It's a 5x5 styled workout. 5x5 style workouts are 5 reps, 5 sets, and you're really trying to go at a pace where you can actually just keep putting it up. So it's not your max, but it is one of the heavier weights that you can do. So you'll be looking at some basic weight work such as bench, squat, overhead press, a lot of just basic things, but it will help build your power. I noticed as soon as I started doing this, I actually started toning up. I actually did notice a difference in my punching power because that's the reason my coach had me download this app, was to increase my punching power. So it helped me out and I'm sure it'll help you guys out. Now for amateur boxing, you do want to keep the explosiveness. You do want to be explosive. So the closer you are to the fight, I say start toning it down on weight work. Start toning it down on weight work. But I do like doing weight work, especially in my sessions, just because it's an easy way to change it up. Boxing all the time, hitting the bag all the time, shadow boxing, it can get boring. So I always say, and I always preach to my guys, have at least one day, no boxing, just strength and conditioning, whether that's sprints, weights, whatever that may be, that's what you kind of be new doing, just to keep things fresh and give you a little bit more to add on to your training. Now we talked about weights, but as far as conditioning goes, one of my biggest pet peeves in boxing is when people are like, man, I need to run 5-6 miles a day, and no, that's just stupid, that'll burn you out. Running 3 miles a day, no. You should be doing about 3 runs a week, and I want you to keep it explosive, right? So the max I usually run as an amateur boxer is 3 to 4 miles. And the reason that happens is I've never felt anything wrong with my conditioning. I can go 8, 10, 12 rounds. But the reason that is because I do a lot of sprints. Think about it. When you're boxing, when you're training, when you're fighting, it's a sprint. You're gonna throw a quick combo, then you get a break. Quick combo, then you get a break. Same thing with sprints. The reason you will see your favorite fighters as a pro running 10, 12, 14 miles, whatever, at like a 9-minute pace is because they are literally fighting 12 rounds, 12 3-minute rounds. So that means they're in the ring for 48 minutes and they're fighting for 36 minutes. Like, you have to be conditioned to do that, as well as be able to turn up the gas and turn down the gas. And as far as amateur boxing goes, you literally have 3 rounds. If you're novice, you have 2 minutes. If you're open, you have 3 minutes. So there's not a lot of time. 3 miles will do you just fine. Try to go at a pretty good pace. Try to do maybe 1 run a week, just burn out, maybe just do a mile and then do sprints. But sprints is going to be your key to success in amateurs, I promise you. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys is about diet. Diet is a question I see all the time on my TikTok. It's probably one of the most asked questions on my TikTok. If we're talking about diet, you know damn well what you need to eat. You know damn well what you don't need to eat. Stay away from fried foods. You can have a little bit of candy here and there because boxing is the one sport where you do need carbs and like sugars to actually kind of fuel you. I'm not saying go out there and throw back Skittles every single day for 2 hours straight. No, but if you have a little bit of candy before you train, not the worst idea in the world. I think it's super important for you guys to understand the difference between cutting weight and losing weight. Some of y'all, man, I gotta cut 60 pounds. No, you need to lose weight. If you are 60 pounds overweight, you need to lose weight. And the way you're going to lose weight is by tracking your calories. You need to be tracking your calories, seeing what you're putting in your body, and kind of having a measurement, right? I like this app. Terrible name, great app. It's called Fat Secret. Great app. It's helped me cut for every single one of my fights, drop weight. Download it. You can kind of put your activity level, put your starting weight. Also say get a scale just so you can kind of measurement and see what's happening throughout the day. Plus you need to be drinking water. If you're not drinking water, the food, everything, it's not going to flush out of you. And as far as cutting weight goes, I know a lot of people love the idea of like cutting weight. I don't know why that's glorified in boxing. It's actually really dangerous. I hated it. It's one of the like worst parts. Cutting weight. Do not use a sauna suit if you don't have a fight coming up and you need to make weight. 9 times out of 10, USA Boxing, unless it's a tournament, you get an 8 to 10 pound weight allowance anyway, so you don't really need to be cutting weight in the sauna suit. That's going to dehydrate you. That's going to make you just not feel good. It's going to make you tired, and you're not going to be able to get everything out of your workout. The reason you will see these pros and all these people cutting weight is because they are literally professionals. They have a full team around them. And same thing with the amateurs. You will see it in the amateurs when there's bigger tournaments where they'll have a chance to actually have to fight back-to-back days. But you will really rarely see that at club shows. Essentially, as a fighter, you're just starting. This is exactly what you need to be doing. You need to talk to your coach and be like, hey, I weigh X amount. What weight would you want me at if I were to compete? He'll probably give you a number. So let's say you're at 170, but you're a little bit heavier. Probably get down to 150. That's easy. Start tracking your calories, start eating right, start drinking water. That'll naturally come off. The bigger you are, the easier it kind of is to lose weight just because of how much water weight you actually are retaining. When the fight gets near, he'll give you some tips and tricks on how to manage your weight and kind of get that little bit extra off. But you probably won't even need to use a sauna suit. Sauna suit is last resort for a lot of boxers because it is so dangerous and honestly just is so I hate them. So eat healthy, live healthy, and the weight will naturally come off, but don't over stress yourself out about how you're eating. Just track your calories and you'll be fine. But that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We went over everything for a beginner boxer, somebody thinking about boxing, somebody that really pumps to the gym and just doesn't know what they need to do. We went over everything from punching and stance to weights to dieting, and those will all help you out. That's something that's helped me out in my 28 fights, and I hope it helps you guys out. So if you know somebody who needs some help in boxing or just is kind of a little bit lost, send this video to them. It'll help them out. Besides that, though, guys, I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe, turn post notifications on. Have a great day. Tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.